Checking in with the Eastern Air Netball Association now, and of course we've got Christy Turnbull here with us. She's going to give us all the scores and the information and everything we need to know. Christy, how are you going this week?
I'm very well. Cold and wet, Dan, but going well, thank you.
Yes, we all are, unfortunately. It's just that time of year. Not a nice time of year to be playing outdoor sports, but the show must go on, right?
Absolutely, it must, yep, and it's a winter sport, so we get what we get in winter, and that often means rain.
Yes, so round 7 has wrapped up over the weekend, and the girls have battled through some pretty rough, rainy conditions, but there are a couple of really good games. So starting off with Central Air United getting the win over Kimber Districts 53-42 in what was a little bit of an upset. Kimber off the top of the ladder for, I think, the first time all year.
So Kimber up until last weekend were undefeated and would have gone into that game feeling reasonably confident, I think, after having a couple of weeks off. This game was always going to be a really tight contest. Both Central Air and Kimber got some very solid teams, very strong, well-oiled machines, I guess we could call those teams. The Central Air girls came out firing in that first quarter and got an early jump on Kimber, and then Kimber just couldn't close that gap. I think Central Air have had Beck Sampson back in to their goals from the last time they met Kimber, and they allowed Abby Bruce to go back into her preferred defensive position, and that made a big difference to the Central Air team against that Kimber team. As I said last week as well, Kimber have had a bit more changes in their goal lineup, bringing Ellen Zabel back into their A grade. Lots of experience there in Ellen, but I think that is going to take a little while to adjust to that change. So congratulations to the Central Air girls. They'd be feeling really pumped.
Yeah, cracking game there in that one by the looks of things. So Central Air United, top spot on the ladder for now. Kimber hot on their tail. And Eastern Rangers aren't far behind either. They had a win on the weekend as well over Ports, who are still seeking their first win of the year. But it was a close game there, 36-24, so not a bad effort by Ports by any means.
Oh, absolutely. The Ports team are just going from strength to strength at the moment. Their last time these two teams meet was an over 30 goal. I think it was 32 goal in the way of Rangers win there. So huge turnaround to only have a 12 goal difference for last game. It was definitely unfavourable conditions in Port Neal for this game. The ball, you'd watch it and it'd almost stop in midair sometimes. So accuracy percentages probably didn't look fabulous and definitely played a part in the lower scoring game. The Rangers were just able to capitalise on some of those loose balls that were floating around. Every quarter just got, a little bit further and further in front. But each quarter, it was a great game to watch. It was really well, strongly contested. Congratulations to the Rangers girls for that win.
All right, a great round there in round 7, and round 8's shaping up to be really good as well. Should mention as well, Cal had the bye there, but of course they're back in action in round 8, and they're taking on Ports in Cal, so good opportunity for Ports to get their first win potentially, or for Cal to get their second win for the year.
Yeah, definitely. Now, last time these two teams met, there was a 1 goal. Cal got up by 1 goal. Ports had the lead just about all game, and Cal managed to pip them at the post the last time they met in Arno Bay. So this is going to be a very, very good battle. Both these teams match up quite well across the court from defence right through to goals. They have a really good hit out. Again, the weather's not looking that favourable for the game, so I think it's probably going to come down to who can chase up those loose balls and manage to get the conversions. They actually just had come through as we speak. Cal have got Laurie Turner out with an ankle injury. Sorry, I'm just reading it on my watch here. So she's going to be hard to replace for Cal. She's been playing really, really strong in their defensive lineup. They have got Taylor Lovering coming in to cover her, but Laurie will definitely leave a hole in that Cal defence, and I think Ports will they'll have a point to prove coming up against Cal this week, and I think they'll get the win. All
right, great stuff. And we don't ask you for breaking news while we're on air here, but we'll take it anytime we can get it. So great to hear that. And I think I was leaning towards Cal, but I think I'm going to change my tip to Ports. I think they'll get their first win with that breaking news that you've just dropped in. So thank you for that. And this one is going to be a cracker as well. Kimber Districts hosting Eastern Rangers. So good opportunity for Eastern Rangers to test whether they're in touch with those top two teams or not. And for Kimber, a good chance to get back on the winners list.
Yeah, definitely. This will be another really, really good game. Last time, Kimber had a fairly comfortable 20-goal win over Rangers. That was very early on in our season. All teams have sort of had a few changes, and Rangers have definitely also come a long way as a team from the start of the year. They had a big change to their team this year, and it's taken them a while to settle into that team, but they really have started to settle and playing fabulous netball, as the Rangers girls always seem to do. Rangers may have Jess, their goalie, Jess Breezy, out. She had an ankle injury late in the fourth quarter against Ports last week. So they still waiting to see whether or not she'll actually be able to come out on the court, and if not, who they'll replace her with. So we wish Jess all the best and hope that she can get out there this week. As I said before, Kimber have got Ellen Zabel stepping in. She provides so much experience in that goal ring. She's hard to beat. She's a fabulous goalie, very accurate. So I think it'll be another really good hit out. Shiley Harris and Nicole Symes always have a good tussle in the Rangers goal end as well. So it'll be a great game to watch. And yeah, I think it'll be close. Certainly won't be a 20-goal win like last time. I think Kimber will probably just pit Rangers at the post. But yeah, it'll certainly be a tight game.
Okay, so a couple of really interesting games on this weekend, and Central Air United with the bye coming off that really good win and sitting on top of the ladder. So looking forward to seeing how these ones all play out. Christy, thank you very much for popping in to join us again and giving us all the updates we need. Looking forward to catching up again next week.
Excellent. Thanks, Dan.
And we're getting an update now from the Great Flinders Netball Association. Joe Franklin's on the line with me to give us all the info we need. How are you going, Joe? Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, pretty good, thanks.
Before we get into round 10's action, let's take a look back to last weekend's games. So just the two games and two blowouts. Elliston Districts beat the Ramblers 62-33.
Yeah, they did. This game started off relatively even. And look, I do know that Elliston were missing Rosie Romowich, but they were able to bring in a gun goaler in Emma Willis, who normally plays for Wirrallah. She played in the Western Air side down at Country Champs and was selected in the top 10 of the carnival. So not a bad player to bring in if you're missing a goalie. And she certainly, her height and her strength in the goal circle certainly really did help Elliston on the day. Lorena Heberman through the centre was also really strong for them. She kept a nice cool head and encouraged her side all the way through to the end. And I think in the fourth quarter, Kate actually got the opportunity to, one of the girls Tegan actually hurt her ankle, got a little bit of a twinge, and they brought on a young 13-year-old in Ruby Baker, who did really well in the last quarter and was able to hold her own. But all in all, Ellison too strong. I think that maybe for Ramblers, Mia Curtis probably played her first A-grade game, so well done to Mia. But Matilda Crittenden was quite good for them at Wing Ding, but I think, all in all, a very handy ring-in by Kate into her side, and in the end, they're too strong.
All right, so a big win there by Elliston Districts, and in our other game, it was Tumby Bay having an even bigger win over United Yalana, 66-15.
Yeah, unfortunately for Yalana, they didn't have one of their better games, and so they're still really out there looking for a win and to get that win on the board, but to come up against a side like Tumby, who this season are absolutely firing. Their goalers are on song. Their centre court just seem to be able to get the ball through there so easily and into their goalers, and their defence line are working really hard and are able to turn over ball after ball. Look, we've talked about it week in and week out. The United Yalana side are very young. They've got a lot to learn, and credit to Jazz Francis and Alyssa, who are really trying to help these girls and get them to improve week by week. But Tumby Bay, a very classy unit this season, and we're just way too strong.
Okay, so that was top versus bottom, undefeated versus winless, so a tough matchup for United Yalana there, but They get a good chance to get their first win on the board this week. They're taking on Ayr United, who have only got one win for the year themselves.
Yeah, they have, but they've been so close in so many of the games. Like several of the games that, they've only lost by 5 or, 7 goals or even less at times. And they're really working hard and they're consistently getting very close and just not being able to finish the games off. I think that this actually, whilst United Atlanta would see it as a definite opportunity, I just think that it's probably going to be Ayr United who will be able to get over the line and hopefully it's a close game.
And it's an interesting fixture this week. We just spoke about, we've got 6 versus 7 there. We've also got the Ramblers taking on Cummins Kapini, which is 4v5, and Lock taking on Elliston, which is 2v3, while Tumby Bay on top of the ladder have the bye. So this round will definitely shape the ladder pretty well. Who do you think will win out of Lock and Elliston?
Oh, look, again, Elliston have a couple missing this week. Rosie's definitely missing this week and Lorena's missing this week. However, Kate, with her recruiting that she does week in, week out, she has actually brought in Rani Tomney, who is a very tall, lanky goaler, very accurate when she's on, very young as well, mind you. But and Zoe Phelps, who will fill the centre court position. So a couple of girls from Central Ayr United who are helping them out there, and very, very handy ins. So for Lock, that is going to be a little bit challenging. However, having said that, Lock have certainly in the last a couple of weeks shown that they can mix it with the top sides, and they actually, I think that seeing the ring-ins may well fire them up, although having said that, Lock have been known to bring ring-ins as well at times. So, but I think that this will be a really interesting game. I think that the ins for Elliston might help get them over the line. Having said that, like we have said over the last few weeks, Lock is certainly building towards something bigger, and it may well be that the big thing happens this Saturday.
All right, and one last game, Ramblers versus Cummins Kapini.
Yeah, this will be really interesting. It always is when these two play each other. They are probably very evenly matched. Haven't heard about any ins or outs from either of these sides. So if they go in as they have been playing, then I think that Ramblers would be in with a really big chance. Having said that, Cougars certainly have developed. They've didn't get off to a real good start, but they certainly have settled down now and are playing some really good netball. Their young ones are finding their feet in A grade, and they will be determined to come away with a win here and hold a position in the side before. I have no doubt about that. But, yeah, an interesting game. I'm going to say that Ramblers by just a couple. I believe that they've got a bit of a reunion happening as well, so they'll have a few extras around for the day. So they'll want to put on a pretty good show for that, I would think.
All right, should be a good day of netball out there, and it should be a good round of netball all over the place. Enjoy the action this weekend. Thank you very much for checking in with us, and we'll chat to you again next week ahead of round 11.
No worries. Thanks, Dan. Take care.